Okay, yes! T.B.Photo X1.5 TFX and welcome back to another video. Well, today we are writing the 17th of May 2025, so for any Norwegian viewers out there, glad 17 maj på er from Sweden. But anyway, yeah, this is a little bit what this video is gonna be about. Yeah, quite the lot of things in one go. Well, I decided to just go out because I wanted to do some more testing with the Hasselblad 500C with the PhaseOne P20 digital back. So I thought that I would go out and do a little more photography. Unfortunately, the weather have been overcast, so fairly low contrast from ambient sunlight, but more about that. It is kind of interesting how much you can experience in one day in this town, actually. I started with going to the castle. I was gonna go to the botanical garden, but I think I'm gonna save that for another day when the weather is a bit better outside. But I digress. Well, as I was gonna go to the botanical garden, I started to hear music, and it came from the castle courtyard, Uppsala castle. So I, walked up the stairs, and lo and behold, a dance troupe that did some dance exhibition from the 1700s, and in period clothing and so on. And I thought, like, okay, this is something it was extremely windy, but I thought that this is perfect for this type deal, to take some images of these folks dancing. So actually I had a few different lenses in my camera bag that I wanted to test out. The one that I've used the most actually is this one, the 50mm f4 Distagon, and I've used it in a little bit of a special way. It's that I have a circular polarizer on the front of it. This one doesn't have the, I think it's B50 mount for lens filters that Hasselblad used on their older style manual focus lenses. This one has actually a 67mm thread on it, so I threaded on a circular polarizer. So it has been a very good camera lens for that application. It is the closest now to a normal lens when I use the digital back, because you have that 1.4 times crop factor. So this lens has become one of my favorites because I can use the circular polarizer and the result that it yielded. But when I went to the castle courtyard and saw all these people dancing, I thought that, hey, the audience is standing a bit back, so I want to get as close as possible with this. So what I did use was this one, this brilliant piece of glass, the 250mm f5.6 sonar lens. So I tried to use it at 1/250th of a second, so at least I had the same shutter speed that is equivalent to the focal length, in order to minimize, or at least get the best possible options for not getting camera shake in the images. But anyway, I thought it was quite neat, so this is one of the lenses that I used mainly in the castle courtyard. But then I turned my attention to the view, because from the castle courtyard there's just a flight of stairs down, the stone stairs, and then you go past the road and then you have the entire botanical garden. And I have shot this many times before. It's a nice scene, especially in summer. The botanical garden, by the way, you have two botanical gardens in Uppsala, the Linné garden and the Uppsala Botanical Garden. I would highly recommend the Botanical Garden because it's much bigger and it's free. It's open from May to, I think it's November, August, and something like that. I don't really remember how long it's open, but it's basically open the entire summer, and for that I used this beast. This is the 40mm f4 Distagon, and it is a beautiful piece of thick, big glass, and yeah, it's one of those lenses that if you can get this, I managed to get this for a very good deal a few years back. I know the price has gone up considerably on these ones, but if you can get a good deal on one of these and you're into the Hasselblad system, the V system, it's a very interesting, cool lens to have. It's one of the few that I think has a what should we call it? You can go to a maximum of 1 meter, but if you want to go closer, because you can do close-up wide angle with this lens, there is a pin you have to push in on the focusing wheel, and then you can go into a 50 centimeter, half a meter, and you know, brilliant piece of glass in my opinion. But anyway, that was the first little stop, and you know, and then I went down. There is a little bit of a trail down in a park behind on the side of the castle, and then it was a demonstration gathering. I think they do it actually every Saturday. It is a demonstration that is pro-Palestine. Not here to be political. You don't have to do any keyboard warrior comments down below. It's just something that happens in this town, and you know, it's all in their right to do. So I thought that it's just documenting it. You know, you have press photographers documenting these things all the time, so why can't I, as a happy amateur, do the same thing? And it was mostly the 40mm. I didn't have time to change to a different lens. So it was a little bit of the police were there to escort the demonstrators and so on. So yeah, that was it. So that's also a little bit of a happening in town today. Then I've said in previous videos that the PhaseOne digital back here, the P20, isn't a good low light performer. So I thought I would put that a bit to the test myself, and I did that by going into the Uppsala Cathedral. So I knew that if I go up to 400 ISO, it would be very noisy images. Maybe I can get away with it to convert them into black and white, but I can use it then in Lightroom 6 that I still use. I could do some noise, you know, take away some noise, but then it will give me less sharp images as a trade-off. So yeah, I tried to keep it on I tried to keep it on ISO 200, and I used actually then the lens that is on the camera now, the 80mm f2.8 planar. Why did I use that one? Because it's the fastest lens I currently own for the Hasselblad V series, so f2.8. So I went around a little bit in the cathedral and took some standard images from the sites inside the cathedral. So that And yeah, then it was the University Aula has its own little park as well, that I know it has some flowers and so on. And now I actually did something a little bit different. I actually used this lens when I went through that little park. This is the, let's see so I get it right here. It's the 120 millimeter, excuse me, f/5.6 planar, and this is the close-up lens. This one will focus up to, what is it, a little bit closer than 0.95 of a meter, which is 95 centimeters. So a little bit closer, so about 85 centimeter-ish. But it's a very good close-up lens. But as I told you before, the weather here in Uppsala has been a bit overcast today, unfortunately. So ambient light with close-up and needing to have a fairly good depth of field meant that I couldn't really use ambient light. So I needed to have fill flash. How do I use fill flash with this one? Well, the system I've come up with for myself is that I use a PC sync cord and this old but still works brilliant Metz Mecha Blitz, and this is the what's the model number now? Yeah, the 40MZ2, and this uses the system SCA3000. I might do a video about that in the future, the SCA system that Metz came up with. I know that there are some Hasselblad flashes that are actually rebranded Metz flashes, and Hasselblad used, I think there was the CSA 300 system. There was first the 300 system and then the 3000 system, and the entire idea shortly with that system was that you could have the same flash, but you basically had universal adapters for different camera brands. So I believe this is a Nikon hot shoe, but I also have a just a dumb hot shoe to PC sync adapter on it. So yes, it's double adapted, but still it works, and it works for my applications. So I use the flash in automatic mode, and I just put in the ISO and the f-stop of the lens that I'm using, because as you all know, or probably know, or here's information for you, all Hasselblad V series cameras, or rather that's a little bit of a misnomer as well, but anyway, the majority of Hasselblad 500 series cameras and camera lenses uses central shutters, which means that they have, well, it has a maximum shutter speed of 1/500th of a second, but you have flash sync on every shutter speed. So that means that I can use the shutter speed to dial in the amount of ambient light I want in the image, and I use the fill flash in conjunction with the f-stop to dial in, depth of focus and so depth of field, I should say. So it works for me, and I did some close-up, not complete macro, but close-up photography work with the 120S planar. So really great lens as it's in its own right. So yeah, and I thought that, okay, this is good. Two events that happened, and I managed to just walk past and document them. But then there was a third one. There is this kind of, what should we say, artist-like little compound right next to Ovandals, which is a very famous cafe here in Uppsala. And it was the cultural exchange for Ukraine, so a day with Ukrainian culture with embroiderment and traditional garbs and music and poetry and so on. So I thought, okay, I'll take some images of this as well, because it's a happening in the city.
Запрошую на сцену український хор міста Стокгольма з піснею «Горіла сосна». Я думаю, знову будемо співати всі разом.
Just people enjoying themselves. So I thought I'll take some images of that as well, and the majority was the 80mm f2.8. So it was quite a interesting event. So yeah, just going out for a tour and planning to go to the botanical garden, but instead it became this day of culture. And I know that in the autumn or the end of summer, Uppsala usually have the culture night, which is a whole day basically and evening with all sorts of cultural activities, very much live music, short film presentations, and all sorts of arts and craft going on for an entire day in Uppsala. But that's further ahead in the year, at the end of summer. You can basically say, if you live in Uppsala, the entire summer the entire thing starts with Valborg, Valpurgis, and ends with Kulturnatten, the culture night. So yeah, I think that's all for me for now for this time. So as always, this is T.B.Photo, Tobias Bergström from T.B.Photo X1.5 to FX, and I'd like to see you guys in the next video. And as always, please like, share, comment and subscribe. And in this particular instant, if you are just gonna do nasty comments because you don't agree with the subject matter of this particular video, please refrain from it. As I said, this is just things that happened on the 17th of May 2025 in Uppsala. Just things that I happened to walk past and witness. So yeah, I thought it was an interesting day with a lot of interesting people. So yeah, take care from now on. Bye.